Hey everybody, it's Sam Jacobs. Welcome to Friday and Friday Fundamentals. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday. As you know, I'm the host of the Sales Hacker podcast and the founder of the Revenue Collective. And this week on Friday Fundamentals, we've got Chris and Dee from earlier this week when we were talking to them about same side movement, which is bringing together buyers and sellers within the same construct and stop treating each other adversarially. Now, we're going to have a great conversation because they're going to talk to us about strategies for working more effectively with procurement to increase the likelihood that you're going to win that big enterprise deal. So this is going to be a good one. Now, before we get started, we've got to thank our sponsors. Our big sponsor for Friday Fundamentals is the wonderful Outreach. Outreach triples the productivity of sales teams and empowers them to drive predictable and measurable revenue growth. By prioritizing the right activities and scaling customer engagement with intelligent automation, Outreach makes customer-facing teams more effective and improves visibility into what really drives results. And Outreach is having an incredible run over the last couple of months. They've got better analytics. They've got better voice integration into their technology. They've got a great CEO in Manny Medina, and it's just a really incredible company. And part of what makes them incredible is the conference that they've got coming up, Unleash 2019, the Sales Engagement Conference. This is going to be the definitive new sales engagement conference. It's going to take place March 10th through 12th in San Diego. I will be there interviewing Dan Cook from Lucidchart. Listeners of the pod get $100 off simply for entering the code SHPOD. So hop over to unleash.outreach.io and use the code SHPOD to save $100 off your ticket. So thanks so much. Now we've got Chris and Dee Donato from earlier this week. Chris and Dee, talk to us about strategies for working more effectively with procurement.
That's a great question, Sam. So we talked earlier about getting meaningful interaction with procurement. But let's unpack this a little bit more. Procurement function, in all my years of experience, has traditionally been really focused on building internal relationships just as much as building external relationships. What I mean by this, our function is really focused on understanding the business and making sure that we bring this value. So proving that value kind of theme is really important for procurement. The way that we can get there is with the help of the sales team, actually. So a couple of suggestions. I would say make it relevant and interesting and insightful for procurement professionals. So if you're having a conversation, if you're trying to reach out, bring competitive insight, bring something that will be valuable for a procurement leader then to take it to the business, spark the conversation about be it innovation, better process, efficiency, plus whatever the value driver that your product might be bringing, but bring it in a competitive context. I think that is really valuable for us to be positioned as somebody that adds that. Then I would say it might be, counterintuitive, but I often see suppliers kind of fragment their relationship and, almost compartmentalize them. They have a relationship with somebody in the business, maybe somebody in finance, and they keep them deliberately disconnected, sometimes for the fear maybe that I don't want this project to be stopped by someone. Take a different approach. Be transparent with your procurement contact. What that does actually, you become even more valuable then for the procurement individual to know what's going on within the enterprise, especially if we're talking about large enterprises. And I worked, with some of the top companies, in different industries, and being able to connect the dots internally is just as valuable as bringing insight externally. So shake off that, counterintuitive fear, of sharing, embrace the transparency, and add, more value to that procurement individual. And then the third thing I would say, try to minimize element of surprise. Oftentimes I see the suppliers, making the rounds with the business and pretty much hammering out, the deal and bringing procurement at the end. And then just to be met with huge resistance and a big stop sign saying, whoa, now we got to either bid this deal or completely renegotiate. So just when you thought you were pretty much at the altar, you have to go back to dating. And that's not pleasant for anybody, right? So you've invested all the time into building relationships. So my strong recommendation is bring procurement early, even though you might fear that, this could be RFP'd and I'd rather make it a sole source deal, but start the conversation. If it should be a sole source deal, then convince, bring the right kind of data points and, perspective why this is the right idea to maybe test and learn before jumping into a bigger deal. And that's usually a nice, safer way to start a relationship anyway.
I think, yeah. What were you going to say, Chris? Go for it.
Well, just that just view your role to a degree as that curator of the buying experience for the customer. Be the one that brings a level of market insight to your customer. Be the one that helps name the problem. That helps kind of build the plan. Whether it's early or the close plan on how to get a deal done. The more that you can leverage procurement and they view you as that trusted curator along the buying journey, you're going to be in a great position.
That's fantastic. So recapping what I think we just heard is, first of all, folks, if you're out there listening, treat procurement as the friend, not the enemy. Bring them into the sales cycle earlier rather than later, and that will help avoid surprises. Make sure you're bringing value to the procurement person so that they can bring competitive insight and market intelligence back to the organization, and ensure that you're being transparent with your procurement contact, not keeping them in the dark, but be a uniter across the organization. Be the salesperson that connects the business team to the procurement team and helps all of them achieve their goals more effectively. So that's Friday Fundamentals for you. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in and then /Sam F. Jacobs. And if you want to reach Chris or Dee, I think the best way is LinkedIn. Or Chris, give us your email address one more time to reach out to you at eSellas.
Yes, it's Chris at eSellas, ESELLAS, or you could find Donna or myself on movesameside.com.
That's great. MoveSameSide.com or Chris at eSellas. Chris and Donna, thanks so much for joining us on Friday Fundamentals and for being our guest this week. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.